How do I sound there?
So, guys,
Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me all right? All right. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can
hey
you guys
Andrew.
hear me?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So we're live here and we are live on YouTube shortly, right, Santiago?
We should be live.
We should be live. All right. Excellent.
Yep.
All right, we'll just give folks a few minutes. It's just now 5:30 Pacific. Probably different for everybody.
Hey, should we make an announcement on the Handshake channel on Telegram?
Oh, yes. Sorry, that was with everything else. What was the one? Which the main
State
Telegram?
and also, yeah, the big one, the one with 5,000. And if we can like add everyone in general or something, or add announcement and saying like, on the announcement channel. Oh yeah, you have access to that. You can just like write everyone. We're live in the general chat or general VC or whatever. Where'd you guys get those handshake hats? Those are pretty cool.
Equine was not my idea.
These are on my website.
Nice.
So they can go to Canada, I think Canada, UK, US, and Australia as of now. That's where they're. So I think Anne has one. I have one. A couple folks have one.
Sick.
Just trying to put all the information. Okay. Did that post? Yeah,
I didn't see anything.
Might have been too many. Okay. How about now?
Yep, I see it.
All right. Fantastic. And then
Maybe just write like going live now so that people know it's starting now. If
I
I
don't
had
think. Oh, there we go.
nice. Then in the announcement section on Discord too, probably. Anyway, yeah. Then if you have the privileges to do at everyone, it'll ping everyone. But yeah, I see Eskimo on.
Yo, yo.
Announcements.
This is like a more of a private chat thing, though, right? Not requiring participation.
Oh yeah, you can just listen in. It's up to you. I mean, if you have something that you want to say, that's cool too.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know if this was like a anybody could talk type thing or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe like Santiago and Alex probably have a better idea for like the structure. But there's, yeah. I mean,
Anybody can talk.
Yeah, we tried to give an agenda so we could stay a little bit organized, kind of cover the topics we want to cover. But by all means, we're gonna do Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone should participate that wants to, of course.
Nice, nice.
All right. Okay, we are also live and recording, so it'll be available on YouTube to share, and for people that are in different time zones that can't make it. Want to give it like another maybe 2 minutes or so, and then we get started. Let's see. Announcement seems to be visible. I will get this a little bit more streamlined next time. Hi, Ann. Do you have your hat on, Ann? Second, maybe you're not able to talk right now. Cool. Well, I mean, I guess people will trickle in. Do we want to get started?
yeah,
Sounds good.
All right. So this is, I mean, I guess just a quick introduction. The goal of this is to kind of resurrect dWeb chats, just make it a platform for the Handshake community, but the decentralized web community. You know, we know each other, but also a place to be able to be consistent with updates on Handshake and give the community kind of another place to congregate, hang out, ask questions, and you know, with relevant topics and things like that. So today's agenda. The concept of today's agenda is really going to be to do some quick intros. I think some of us know each other, most of us do, but maybe it'll still worthwhile to do some intros. Talk a little bit about the happening, the event, how it went. We did some coverage there. We got some coverage from Decentralizers. A little summary about what we think about HandyCon. You know, some anticipation. Go over that, different speakers, things like that, and then cover kind of Decentralizers, which has been a really cool platform that showed up recently and has been giving us a lot of updates in the space, and we want to keep it growing and grow it and make it, you know, decentralized. So without further ado, I'll get started. If you don't know me, my name is Alex. I go by Miggs. My last name is Miglerini, so Miggs is easy. Been in the Handshake space, not quite since the beginning, but shortly after. It gave me a lot to do during the lockdown, so thank you so much for that Handshake. And I made a lot of friends online, in person. I've gone to some events, and I make Handshake merch. Try to make it accessible so people can, you know, represent the brand. This is Irwin's pin. The hats are on the website, or the hoodies and whatnot. I'll pass it off to Santiago.
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Santiago, originally from Argentina. Me and my family we moved to Canada about 16 years ago. Never really adapted to the cold weather, but here we are. I guess it is my first time showing up like in front of a camera. I go by the Stronix handle on Twitter or the X platform. So a bit about me. Actually, I met Alex at NamesCon last year in Austin, so it's a pleasure to meet you. And recently met Andrew as well on a talk that we did, I think a couple of weeks ago, that prompted this Discord chat. So yeah, from Argentina in Canada. A bit about my background. Started really working on some Montreal startups. Did some research in neuroinformatics. Then I moved into investment banking, and then worked for a cloud computing company. and how I got into Handshake around 2021. So it first started for me in the sort of .coms in 2011. Then I moved into actually Unstoppable Domains is what I first discovered in 2020. Then I moved on to ENS in 2020 and Handshake in around March of 2021. And yes, so uh, hoping I can be a bit more active with the community. I have some projects I want to share, and happy to share the stage with all of you.
Great. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of you guys may or may not know me, but I'll try to share stuff you might not know about me. So as part of the Handshake founding team, my role specifically, like I didn't, is to kind of like organize the people together to create the, kind of help create the project. So I didn't have much to do with kind of the design or the technical implementation for Handshake. I mean those are kind of the JJ and Joseph, like those two are probably like kind of made most of the design and design decisions, and JJ with the implementation. From my perspective, like, I've been in this space for a while. I've kind of, and I think the thing that I've been pretty good at is, identifying talent, like identifying talented people before they're really like discovered or before they do any big projects. I've known Joseph before he did Lightning, and JJ, but when he was an engineer at GoDaddy, believe it or not. And so yeah, basically for since 20, I guess 16, 17, 18, we would kind of hang out and just kind of bounce ideas off whiteboards, things like that, until naming system, the idea to do a naming system kind of came about. And oh yeah, and then yeah, along with kind of like the other Andrew, we would I guess like the four of us would hang out and discuss ideas until this idea kind of stuck. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about kind of Bitcoin in the early days. Like especially Andrew and I and Joseph. Like actually, the three of us were probably around, or Andrew was probably around the earliest. Maybe like I think he was working on Bitcoin stuff maybe 2011 or 2010 or 2011 or 2012. I got into it maybe like 2012 and 2013, probably around the same time Joseph did, and all these really like these and then kind of reading through like all the Satoshi email leaks was kind of interesting. You can kind of see like like the people were kind of like really like trying to figure out how they were going to get like $2,500 and $3,500 and that kind of stuff together. Yeah, I mean, I've come to appreciate kind of how much Satoshi did in the early days, I guess, from those emails, in terms of like like I think there is this perception that he just kind of like launched the code, launched the white paper, and just kind of disappeared. But I mean, he wrote a ton of emails trying to get people on board, started a forum that active. I mean, I of course read everything that he put on the forum, but he did. I mean, he did do quite a lot to get the ball rolling. I've also been thinking a lot about like this issue with tragedy of the commons type of scenario where like everybody. Yeah, I mean, Handshake has a vibrant ecosystem, but like there isn't. Kind of as a result of a decentralized system, like there aren't very clear roles, and it's like like it seems like everybody does everything. And yeah, big shout out to Anne and Michael Michelini, who's actually been doing a lot to kind of like organize the community and consolidate. And so yeah, I mean, I think we could in general, I think we could be doing a lot of this. And so I talked to both Alex and Santiago about this idea to kind of do like a routine pulse check on Discord and start kind of a routine. And I think this kind of call will definitely like expand over time as we have like consistent like develop like a consistent ritual around having these calls. So yeah, anyway, that's a little bit about long-winded intro here.
That was great. I'm feeling a little short now. I've worked in sales kind of the majority of my life before stumbling along the blockchain rabbit hole around 2017. So that's where I got introduced to the concept. All right, thank you guys very much. And Santiago, it's awesome to see you live on camera. As awesome as your profile pictures always are. This is great. I think the next topic or the first topic we really want to cover today was a little bit about the happening, which has come and gone to an extent, right? Of course, not all of it, but the main drama has fizzled down a little bit, which is a good time for reflection. I think it makes sense to start a little bit before the event itself. I mean, the happening. There were some things that made that take place, right? There was a Handshake originally uh, had reserved 100,000, the top 100,000 Alexa domains, and after a few years, the community through some consensus did a soft fork. I think it might be. I think Andrew might be a little bit better to give us. Can we build off your perspective first? Maybe give us your take on the beginning of it, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I mean, so originally, I mean, I think there's, around these expiration for claims, either name claims or the open source airdrop claims, a lot of the decisions, I guess, initially that were made around kind of the creation of the project, wasn't we weren't thinking too much about market dynamics or adoption. We're probably thinking a lot more about like the security, like technical security and like the key security and this type of thing. So for example, like the open source airdrop, like, for that portion, is like there's no expiration for that, right? And like the general idea was that like, hey, developer SSH keys are like pretty good crypto, right? And then when we were looking at kind of like the domain names, the top 100,000 Alexa names, or the GTLDs, or any of the TLDs. I think JJ was looking at it, and I think like he was less. I guess he was less like convinced that that security would hold up over years. And so I think there's like like some of these TLDs are backed by SHA-1 or something. And I think the only reason it probably doesn't get hacked is because ICANN has its keys and can probably reverse it pretty easily. But like the crypto there is like weaker. So for that reason, I think he had those the top 100,000 Alexa names and the TLDs kind of expire sooner, and then the open source developer airdrop expire or never expire, right? So it was really based on the strength of the cryptography, not anything to do with like market dynamics like that led to those kinds of design decisions. And so the kind of the way yeah. So in terms of like, yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it probably would have made sense to like expire the open source developer claims earlier, and then and keep the like domain names, or the at least the top 10,000 Alexa names or and GTLDs and things like that to avoid like collisions. It would probably would have made more sense to have those like not expire at all, and yeah, it probably would have made more sense like in reverse. But it is what it is, and yeah, it was really cool to see the community rally around the soft fork, and put together the changes and implement the soft fork, and get it through. Um, and yeah, it really shows kind of the power of a decentralized community in terms of like fixing some of those design decisions that we've made.
Great. And I mean, fast forwarding a lot of those talks really accelerated last summer. I think would be the time, and really took place early February was when that happened, I believe, or mid February was really when that took place. I know that the auctions got there was a lot of people going for different things. I think what was very interesting for me about this happening was that people got very targeted with what they wanted to obtain. I don't think that this was as much of kind of like the early days of Handshake. I remember people bidding on things that they thought were interesting or were cool. But now that we've all kind of gotten around the game theory a little bit and understand how competitive that can be, we saw a lot of people changing their daily lifestyles to be able to bid and compete for these names, which is I think an example of of the market. It is an evolution of the market. Sometimes the volatility of the names isn't always super high, but seeing that the people that understand it, on the primary market, or being able to, in the auctions themselves, take it so seriously, I think is a very good indicator of what demand might look like in the future for those types of names and for the secondary market type names.
Yeah,
Santiago, I know you. Yeah.
yeah, and also to kind of like explain for anybody who for like newer people who might be listening about Handshake. So basically, we reserved the top 100,000 Alexa names Like these are the 100,000 most like popular website names, as well as all the TLDs that ICANN supports to prevent kind of name collisions, right? Like, so you don't want, like, for example, someone to be able to buy .apple and or .google and .facebook and not have it be apple.com, facebook.com, or google.com. Or you don't want somebody to be able to get .com itself and collide with the .com namespace. And so Handshake reserved all of this, and how the way the community designed the soft fork is they extended the well, actually, they locked. Yeah. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about this. So I think the names or the name claims on the top 10,000 Alexa websites, so the 10,000 most popular websites, are still locked. And then 10,001 through like effectively 100,000, maybe with duplications, it might be like 90,000 or something. Those were just released. So like names like .india and .btc and these types of things were all released, and they were like bid up to crazy sums. And but the top 10,000 are still locked. And it's my understanding that like if you're they're locked to the point where like no one can claim these names, not even like apple.com itself, right? So we do still have a bit of a I mean, that still leaves us with like something to kind of like long for, I guess, like in terms of like just trying to fix that. And it's my understanding that it was like done like this because they wanted to make do a soft the community wanted to do a soft fork instead of a hard fork. um, do you guys know if the TLDs, if those are locked too? So if like whoever, like let's say that VeriSign wants to claim .com, do you know if it's claimable?
No, they're all completely locked.
Oh, so they're all locked. Okay. So then, I mean, this does imply that at some point that we may need to do, like, the community may need to, at some point, rally around like a hard fork or a soft fork, right? To make those names claimable. Like, does that make sense? Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
makes
for the time being, though, like, yeah. I mean, I like in hindsight, I do like the decisions that the community made, like given kind of like the technical constraints. The names from 10,001 to 100,000 or 90,000. Those websites aren't that popular. They do move around a lot, and I think the really important ones like the really big brands and things like that are all at least in the top 10,000. So I like that design, or I like kind of the direction. I'm totally cool with the fact that all those names got released. But at some point we will have to rectify, making the top 10,000 plus the TLDs like claimable, right?
right.
Need to
Yeah.
be addressed.
So for me, I remember we were talking about the happening, even the softcore back in NamesCon. I don't know if you remember, Alex. There were multiple spaces happening during NamesCon about soft fork versus the hard fork. So that's I think it was June of last year. Um, I think it went really well. The things I want to share about the happening, like I think the best time to have joined Handshake would have been in 2020, really at the beginning. And the second best time to have joined Handshake would have been during the happening. I think it gave a good opportunity to people with budget to go after the high end names, and then people with lower budget to still get tremendous opportunity for names that dictionary names in English. So I think it was absolutely amazing. I took some statistics from Simon's Explorer, who's on the talk here. I think there was, if my stats it's okay, I think it was about 70K names released during the happening, like actual openings, and about 12,000 locked. Not really 10,000, but about 12,000 are like locked. So I don't know if Simon, it's you can correct, but I think those were the stats that I took from um, the the blog explorer. Then in terms of names, I really try my best to ask unstoppable domains if if they actually went after any of these high-end names just for like journalistic purposes. I got no response from them, so we're still not quite sure who won those names. I am aware of two names, .btc, which is public information. I mean, the person who won that name, actually posted a tweet about it. And then the other one is .bitcoin. So I am aware of the winner of .bitcoin. But then of the other names, I really have no clue. I try my best to find out who owns them. Nothing. So
Right. So who
I don't
owns
know.
.btc? Who got .btc if that's public?
There is someone from India who got .btc, who put in the $1 million. Actually, if you go to I mean, shameless plug here, but if you go to the Decentralizers article on the happening, then I have there the link on the tweet, the actual source on the .btc.
Yeah,
So
we should plug everything. And what's
yeah,
Simon's block explorer called?
it's hns.simon.de, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that.
Who was it that won the Bitcoin though?
I don't know if
Not
I
public?
can disclose, but
Oh, I thought you said
you
that you.
yes, I know because basically yes, I know who it is. So basically, when Impervious started talking about the Spaces protocol, I sort of went through the website, saw this new protocol that they're launching, and then I really asked Mike Carson if they were the winners of .bitcoin, and then he responded no. And then one very active community member on Handshake reached out to me by DMs and say, actually, we got it. So I
Okay.
I wish
Well, because
I
I only asked because that's like it's actually a really funny story about that one because it was Roger Ver that owned Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
he had it expire during while like the claims were still going on, and he didn't know that he could claim it a second time. So it was only like released because he didn't know he could claim it a second time and get it back, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, yeah, I mean, yeah, we should maybe, if Roger wants to buy or buy it back from the person for what he paid for it, I do think it'd be nice for that guy to, whoever owns that Bitcoin to be able to offer that to Roger. I mean, it does suck that I mean, because I mean, he claimed it. He was one of the first people to kind of claim their TLD, and because he owns Bitcoin.com. And it does kind of suck that they forgot to kind of renew it, which would have just cost like what 0.2 HNS or something.
Well,
So
yeah, and but it also sucks that I guess nobody was around to tell him, or I guess he wasn't participating enough for somebody to say, hey, you could just claim it again, right? That kind of sucks. Even
yeah,
worse.
so yeah, I was in touch with people that knew that was in touch with him, and I did ask to try to get that message through him, but I must have not gotten there. I should have just reached out directly. That's my fault. If Roger, if you're seeing that. But anyway, like he probably would have paid something close to whoever won it would have paid anyway. Or if you would have gotten involved in the bidding, it might have gone for even more. So, I mean, if whoever ended up getting it is willing to just sell it back to Roger for what he paid for it, that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, all I can say is that Bitcoin is in good hands. And then if Roger wants to buy it back from this person, I guess we'll have to
Yeah, we can put him in touch.
we can put it in
Okay.
touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, like I still don't know who owns that India. Would be nice to find out. Although it does not surprise me, given that all the talks about India becoming the next superpower, I guess, and then they're surpassing the Chinese population as well. So it's an interesting think that India was the highest. I mean, it was surprising to me at first, but I think if there is one country that you would like the handshake name, I think it would be India.
Yeah, no, it's a cool one. It's a
Yeah,
cool one
it's
for
a
sure.
cool one. Yeah. Then that Go, that blockchain, have no idea, and then yeah, I guess for me, I went after two or three names. Um, I use ShakeStation for this one, so shout out to Eskimo for the
Oh
amazing
yes.
work. Actually, ShakeStation made me win two names because the reveal was done faster than someone on name-based platform. So here we
Nice.
go. Like another reason why ShakeStation is good. Um, yeah. So I actually got Whois, which I intend to use it for the Handshake Whois project. Right now, I have an API that is working, so you can actually do Whois on any Web2 name and then Handshake, so it would work on both. As to if will I add support for ENS or other naming systems, that's in the future. I don't know,
Wait, so
but
is there a hip like standard for how to do who is on handshake names?
so the basic. I mean, I'm just following a very simple rule. Whenever you type in a name, I look at the extension, and then Icon has a database, a text file
No,
database
no,
where
I
you
mean
can
for
go
but
through
how about on the handshake side?
on the Handshake side.
Uh-huh. Like so if like say like whoever owns that India, right? If they want to
Yeah,
add like their contact information on
yeah,
the
they can.
handshake, like
Yeah,
so
they
where do
they
they add
can
it?
they can add the text record. I guess Eskimo is a lot more knowledgeable here with the Barrow product.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I
Um,
think all you need to do is like propose like a HIP, like a handshake improvement protocol, like standard, and say like, hey, you know, like I have who is. If you'd like to, you know, we should create a
oh,
standard.
sure.
So like, there's probably like lots of different ways to
That'd
do
be
this.
really cool.
Yeah,
See,
The
everybody right now has just been using text records. Like they'll just put in a text record for
exactly.
like a Twitter link or something like that.
oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I suppose that works too. Like if it's just yeah,
No,
but
who
if
is
there's
would be
like
really cool because then you could just index that and have that searchable.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, some kind of HIP on that would be a pretty cool idea.
yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. I think that's something we could work it out. I know
It's a great idea
Niami.
for your who is name.
Yeah. Niami has something like it identifies who is the Handshake wallet owner, but I don't think that gives you much information right now. So what I want to do with that project is basically a who is on a handshake name, and then I'm trying to get the Superlink people to give me some API, something that I can just tell you, oh, this actual name is owned by them, because they own like 1.5 million names. So it's
Yeah, so hey, yeah, I
in
mean,
development.
I would recommend just in publishing a who is as a standard for how to do this, and then just tell like Superlink, hey, yeah, here's a standard. We'd really like for you to just follow this, and just like tell
Right.
everybody about how you're doing this. Or a HandyCon might be a good opportunity to, or your future HandyCon or something like that, or any kind of these events. Just spread out like, hey, this is how we're doing it, and then now
Hmm.
it can be like a standard way for everybody to do all this. And
Sure.
it would get people off of like an alternative to name-based as secondary marketplace if everybody followed this, because
Yeah.
then they can do like direct, they can contact each other directly kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I
you'd
mean,
still want to
that's
use
a good
something
idea.
like Namebase or ShakeStation though for like an escrow type deal though.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it doesn't get rid of the escrow, but yeah, I mean, at least knowing who it is and contacting them like as a starting point, that might help. Like for like yeah, and then there's been like name based, or there's been like names that I've been wanting to get, and like I put in like crazy offers, and I don't get any
Mm.
reply. If I could just ping those people or email them or something like that, that would be like that would be really cool.
Yeah. So the vision that I have is try to get that who is. I also have because people contact me on the who is handle, and then they say, hey, I want this name. I do have like a database of what I call like a wish list that I'm compiling. So the idea is a bit of what Eskimo said, like have the whois, have this database of people interested in acquiring these names, and then the escrow part comes in later. That could be done through ShakeStation, through Namebase, or some other party. But
I see.
so we have whois, we have a wish list of like people potentially interested in this particular name, and then the actual escrow. I think that would be like the complete solution. It's coming. So hopefully
Cool.
we could have something by the next year. Alex?
I had a quick idea. Please shut me down because there's something I'm not realizing here. But what if there was like a feature to almost submit like a bounty? Now, sure, you can make an offer directly to the user that owns a certain name, but almost like if somehow there was like a spotlight on ShakeStation, for example, or on Namebase, saying like, you know, I individual am very interested in this name, regardless of where it is, and almost use it as a
Well,
reach.
you
I've been
could-
thinking
you-
about doing that
yeah.
for a while, like a reverse marketplace, like where you put up the money and then like say what name you want to give that money to, and then somebody could deposit the name and then trade like that, like a reverse marketplace. But I just don't know if there's enough usage for that yet.
Mm-hmm. I think, I don't know how often it'll actually close the transaction for us, but I think it can demonstrate that there's a demand, not just a financial demand, but there's an actual demand for people really care about particular names, and they'll go to great lengths to obtain them. And if you want, they'll set the platform for you. But just a quick offshoot thought. Glad it wasn't totally out of context.
Cool. So let's talk Eskimo. Let's talk business after the chat. No problem.
Hit me up, man. Hit me up.
Great. We got a really good idea.
Yeah, we got some good ideas. Then thank you for the new people joining. I see Nathan. Hey, Nathan. I got another name for another project, but I won't really talk about it. Not because of secrecy, but I guess I want to make sure Decentralizers is up and running, and then whois is up and running effectively, and then I'll probably talk about the next one. But yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if anyone wants to share like any names that they got that are super pumped about it, or names that they wish they got and they got sniped.
Well, I got BCH because I was kind of bummed that Roger lost .Bitcoin. So I was gonna get .Bitcoin, but like it was going up so high that I didn't pursue it. But I got .BCH that I plan on giving to Roger, and I think I just picked I just got a few names that I think people weren't looking for. I think I got like .Sol maybe, or maybe .Mon. But like I intend on I just got names that I intend on giving to projects that I like, I guess.
Nice.
Very cool.
There were some.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since he just jumped in, this will be recorded. Nathan's a big contributor to the Handshake space and also a great resource on a technical level. He is the founder. He collaborates with Namebase, associated with Namebase, also has the Fire wallet. So just wanted to do a quick little plug introduction to you, Nathan. There. Sorry, Santiago. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say actually, I'm happy that Nathan and the HNS Australia team, they got .Australia, .New Zealand. I think those are great country names. .Canada was reserved. .Argentina was also reserved. But .Brazil was open. And some other Latin American names. I didn't get them. But I was actually wanting to get .Chile just because it would be a good trolling thing. But I got, run out of HNS. So that didn't happen.
Also, .Chile would be nice for like a meal, curry.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, some of the great names I got was .act, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you said you were going to use it in a geo format, right? For Australia.
Yeah, for .Australian Capital Territory. Same as a couple other state names. WA for Western Australia. What else did we get? There was a couple others, but I've forgotten now.
ULD. I think we got QLD, Queensland.
Yep, I think so. Yeah, I think so. We had Tas already for Tasmania. Don't think we have NT because I don't think that's open. We might have.
Mhm.
I think we have New South Wales NSW. But I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, a couple other names like that.
Very
Fantastic.
cool. Eskimo, you want to drop any? Do you stand? I stood by during all this one, so I don't know. I think that in the years leading up to it, I was buying so many names, and
Yeah, I actually I only bid on a couple names. I lost most of them. I had most of my HNS locked up from an auction like right before the happening, so I didn't have much available. I won .vm. I thought that was cool. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with it or not yet, but I thought that was a cool one. But that's all I got. I lost every other one.
So that we keep it relatively within time, I think we'll jump to the next topic. If anybody wants to give like their last thoughts, but my last thought on the happening was that I was very surprised that the there was a lot of 2 letters that flew under the radar, which I learned over the years until now. I was like, these are very rare, and that's something if had I woken up to that, I would have been competing for those. I think those have tons of potential.
Yeah, there's one guy that went after most of these names.
Yeah, dude,
Well,
that's why I went
well,
after VM, because like I think I only ended up paying like 16,000 Handshake for a 2-letter that has like multiple meanings, like like virtual machine, voicemail. Like I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's nice that some people share their strategies later, because I just remember being in my garage trying to figure out, like, do I bid this much? Do I bid this much? And so having some people kind of give you a breakdown, it's like, oh, be a little bit more organized, because the HNS does get locked, and you lose time. Very cool. Welcome also, Alex. Alex, you snuck in here a little bit ago. Alex, I know, has several projects going on, and we'll be hearing them at HandyCon, which is conveniently our next topic. So the topic is kind of pre-HandyCon expectations or thoughts, or maybe something you're excited about, someone you're excited to see. I'll go real brief first. I'm pretty excited to this Andrew on this call has been super helpful and open to chatting over the last couple of years. But I'm excited to hear the other Andrew Lee for the first time. That's something I'm looking forward to for this. I'm also looking forward to help host some of this, and it's been working really hard along with Mike and the team. So super grateful for all those efforts. And I think I actually took the days off this time. I'm not going to try to work. These are my handshake days. I'm not taking the sweatshirt off. I'm not taking the pin off. I'm just going to be thinking about names, and no one can tell me anything about it. That's what I'm looking forward to. I guess I'll hand it off to whoever wants to chat next.
I guess for HandyCon, it's that time of the year where your hopes about Handshake, they sort of resurrect. They come back together. I guess for me, the talks are very interested. Usually, Paul Webb has very good presentations. Sajan from Agamin Technologies. Then I'm looking for Nathan's talk on. I guess he's talking about WordPress. And are you giving a demo on Fire Wallet?
Demo. I don't have a very big time slot, so I might actually cut out the WordPress and just do a firewall demo.
Cool. Yeah, the
try
WordPress.
To get another time slot for the WordPress thing too.
Yeah, you should get a WordPress. Yeah.
Well, I have some YouTube demos that I'll also publish to make it, people can always check them and have a look at all those things that are actually, more easier to just look at for when you actually are building your WordPress. It's easy to look at the YouTube and try and find the recording.
Yeah, speaking of which, Nathan's been helping me. I'm gonna start. I was inspired by Meow from Jupiter, to start like blogging more. So I'm gonna start blogging on my well, Nathan's been helping me spin up a blog, and so what's going to be different about this blog is there's going to be like basically 3 sections of this blog. So yeah, it'll be resolvable on like on like like an ICANN TLD too, ICANN or Handshake. But so that'll be like the general section, and then I'm going to blog about well, so like for me, like I'm gonna blog about 3 topics in general. One is crypto. One is like my homesteading, kind of like more personal, like that kind of stuff, and then third is like around like culture. And so my like crypto takes will just be generally available, like to the wide public. The think it's I think the way we have it is like the more private like homesteading type stuff, like pictures of my property and things like that, like geese and greenhouse and stuff I'm gonna put that on Handshake only, so you'll need to be able to resolve on Handshake in order to be able to see it. And then the third section on culture, you'll need to buy an SLD from me to see it. I mean, I hope this is a structure that people can kind of like a blog like structure for people to follow, because like it's it basically becomes like Substack, right? Like where like Substack has like a general section where you can kind of read, and then like the other ones are members only where it's kind of paid and things like that. And so yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a demo. Nathan, I don't know if you have an update on the data center, what's going on over there, but yeah,
It's just a
but no,
nightmare.
I'm looking
Postage
forward to it.
delays and yeah,
There's delays. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get
everything's
that blog
slow.
up. It doesn't have too much to do with HandyCon, but I am using Nathan's technology on the WordPress, to kind of like build something out like that.
Yep, I've set up a proxy that'll only let people that hold a certain SLD under a TLD access it. That's open sourced, but at the moment that code is only on my self-hosted Git, which is on my server that's down. So that's where my problem is. So when that server gets up, I should be able to then publish your site.
Cool. Then yeah, for me on my side for HandyCon, we're gonna have 2 topics that I'm presenting. One with Rob, a project called Name Layer. I mean, if you guys heard of like Casey and Taylor or Tyler, like they've been kind of like working on this project called Name Layer for a while, but we're gonna kind of pick it back up, give it some breathe some fresh ideas into it, and develop a team kind of around it. And so yeah, hopefully we'll provide alternative like kind of platforms for TLD owners to stake their TLDs and sell on-chain SLDs and we'll probably like strictly focus on like with a lot of emphasis on content creator communities. So I'll be talking about some of those topics. And then the second is we're at the end of April we're hosting Irene is hosting a hackathon in Vietnam for UET students, which is like an engineering university over there. Yeah, and Nathan and Rithvik and Jackie Chan, they're all going to be there, and so it'd be good to get like the Handshake developers all together. I think even just for that, it's definitely worthwhile. But yeah, so we'll announce that. We still have some work left to do in terms of kind of like helping to finish organizing it, getting sponsors and things like that. But and so we'll definitely solicit help from the Handshake community along lots of dimensions. But yeah, I'm very excited about both those projects, as well as what Alex mentioned. I think there's at least 2 SocialFi projects that are being announced. I know Irene's announcing one, and the other Andrew is announcing a SocialFi project too. So yeah, I'm very excited about those projects. I think there's very good it's a very good use of like Handshake.
That's a good. I think that's a great point, Andrew. I think this HandyCon is going to be the most about, in my opinion, the most about the projects that are being built on Handshake. I remember the first one was just trying to understand the protocol, and that's a long game. But we have like now that I'm looking at the speaker list, this is exciting stuff, and we have Margie for Bitmain who's being a huge who's obviously means a big sponsor for the event, helping to facilitate the event, doing a lot of hype with Mike. Noel, who, if you don't know Noel, then you should. But I'm excited to see what those events in Texas are leading up to. Chango's actually one of the people that inspired me at the first HandyCon. So getting her up on stage will always be good. I know Alex has a new project to share. Nathan, Paul's always working on stuff. Sajan in India is always just advocating. He's on LinkedIn. He's on everywhere. So I think seeing all these people with projects that are not just some are starting out for the first, maybe getting started, but some of them are very well seasoned and evolving and kind of coming into their own, which is super cool. And multi-dimensional people that work on Namebase have private projects and vice versa. And so it's going to be, I think this is going to be one of the, I'm very excited for the talks themselves, and to hear what these people have to say and how their thoughts have evolved. I think is going to be kind of my most exciting thing. All right. Let's see, and then we also, let's not forget that of course we have the Flamingo Handshake auction. So there'll be emojis flying around and some high value names, which should be cool. I'm always excited for those. And
yeah, what better place to waste my HNS?
Nathan, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I'm a big lover of the emojis, but I do understand they're a total wild card, and they could go to nothing. But I always thought that they were universal and kind of fun. But there's been some developments there. I think that some of the other codified the non-IDNA are now being in high demand due to some changes with Unicode. I don't know all the details. Yeah. Taylor from Tetric can definitely elaborate on that if you want to learn more about those.
They are very good for mobile, I think, because mobile is much easier to type emojis. Just desktop is still a bit difficult. So especially do the color tones. If you have different color tones on desktop, it'd be difficult for people to then type that in.
Definitely. Yeah, I've always tried to steer towards the yellow because of the headache. Agreed. I think if we're okay with wrapping up, there's a ton of content on HandyCon. If you want to learn more about it, just check out the website. It's incredible. But I think we can pivot over and talk about Decentralizers a little bit. That's we're all ready for that.
Unless someone wants to say something more about HandyCon. No. So I guess we can start talking about Decentralizers, and then the idea behind this is, I really believe we are at a critical point in Handshake where people who, so this idea of being active or non-active, I don't think that's longer an option. I really think people have to be active somehow in order for the protocol and the network to grow and gain more adoption by people. I really like what Mike is doing with Sky Include. I really like what Zach is doing with the Shake. The idea behind Decentralizers is have number one, build a platform which can cover decentralized technologies and people who are building those technologies. So I would love to cover what Nathan is doing, about Nathan himself. I would love to cover about Eskimo, what Eskimo's building, what Alex Netter, what he's building, what Sajan is doing, what Irene is doing, and talk about these projects, the people. I think every one of you deserve, some attention, and I guess this is one way to do that. So the idea is build a platform where we can cover people and technologies, and then the second thing is have some more help for people like Mike, who he's the only one doing Twitter/X spaces on a monthly basis. So we want maybe with this Discord call also help that that pursuit of continuing building the community. I guess we talked with Andrew that we need a bit more direction and cooperation in the community, and I guess this is one way that we could do that. otherwise, I guess like I'm really not a person that wants to spread FUD and those kind of things. But we need to also tell people the truth. Like there's a clear direction split here between ICANN, ENS, Namebase, Handshake, and if we really want the Handshake protocol to survive and to gain the mass adoption that we're hoping for, it's going to take some effort from people. And I'm seeing a lot of people do a tremendous work. People here, everyone is contributing. I really like what Simon is doing with the Explorer, with the stats, what Alex is doing, what Anne is doing. I have some other data here. Like, I'm super happy with HNS Australia, what the team is doing. I think they're just amazing how much technology they're putting. So it's no longer just Namebase being responsible for Handshake, or no longer just Namecheap being responsible. We have these other players. Of course, Eskimo. We know that you launch a ton of projects, and without you, the Handshake ecosystem would be much smaller. So thank you for that. Hope you can continue supporting these amazing projects, and then continuing working on some other projects. So we see what Irene is doing with Handshake Vietnam. Actually, I was invited to the first Vietnam Ring, which took place on December 25th, was Christmas, and I saw about 20 to 25 people attending this ring. So I guess there's a lot of attention coming from the Asian market, a lot of opportunities. We want the centralizers to cover people. We want the centralizers to cover these technologies. And what I'm hoping, and then this is like open, right? I really don't have the funding to pay people right now, but the idea is to pay people to publish things. So, for example, if anyone wants to do a training on Handshake, they can do that. If Eskimo wants to write an article about why we need escrow and Handshake, we can do that on the platform. So it's no longer just about one individual, but about multiple individuals contributing to this project. And then I'm really open. Like most of the legwork has been done by me these past weeks. But the idea is to have, more video content coming in, like stuff that we're doing right now. Have Alex talk about mining. We have other people also who are slowly putting more content about Handshake. So we want to cover those content, those people. And then what I think resonated with me on the last space with Mike was it's really missing what are people working on Handshake right now. So we really don't know. We have some ideas, and then we discovered all these ideas at HandyCon. But during the month to month, we don't really know unless you're very explicit about what you're doing. So maybe this is an avenue to help promote those projects and bring the support that they need. Andrew, I think we have like a lot of common ground on community building, have something that can like give more direction or cooperation between the members. So that's sort of the way I see this, having an open project, people open to contribute, and that's about it.
I was going to give a take real quick. I think all of those things are so important. It allows for collaboration. I'm going to a mining event next month or at the end of the month, and I hope to write an article and contribute to the Decentralizers platform. I think it also gives a lot of credibility to the space when you're curious about Handshake. It helps to have something to bridge that gap between the curiosity and a place to kind of call home within Handshake. The Shake does a great job of that. Namebase does a great job of that, of course. But this adds another layer to it, and it softens the learning curve a lot and makes it friendly and more collaborative. Which I think you've done a really great job. Your writing is also very very good. So thank you. Thanks for the work so far. Those were just kind of my initial thoughts on it. And the website also looks amazing.
Yeah, so the website is host it on GitHub pages, so I'm using like Jenkins, is the Ruby. Um, Everything is like infrastructure as code. I don't think that's the best way to expand, but it was enough for me to get started with something. And it's sort of the idea is to, as we incorporate more people, have a system that is easier for people to submit articles, videos, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I really want to do this to support most of you. I appreciate your efforts. I appreciate what you're building. We need this platform or some platform where we can talk about what people are doing, not only for exposure and visibility, but also for support. So I guess this is something that we want. And also, why not? Like the idea behind Handshake is also that we, at some point, we should be able to build businesses around this. And right now, we all know that Handshake, unless you flip names, there's not much money coming out of using Handshake right now. But hopefully, that can change as people continue to build. Any other thoughts or comments? Or you think this is a waste of time? Alex?
Maybe Alex, I saw you turned on your camera. Maybe you want to come off mute? It's okay if not.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey everyone. I'm still figuring out Discord, pretty new to this. But hi everyone, and yeah, so what I was going to say before, one of the talks that I think will be interesting is the browser talk, the mask talk. At least I'm looking forward to that because it's not a simple browser to use or to navigate if you're used to the traditional browser. So that will be interesting to see their take on Handshake and maybe see a demo. That would be pretty cool. Always interested in seeing Andrew's talks. I always think they're interesting. I know Nathan is gonna rock it as well with his wizardry in technology, and yeah, very excited to share the updates from Namebase as well. I think it will be interesting to see the reactions from you guys in the community, because we have been working on a lot of new features, so that will be interesting to share. Yeah, in regards to the project that was launched, just to be clear, it's actually my wife's project, Uswap. I'm just helping her out with promotion and design. And
the website looks nice, Alex.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And he actually was going to do with .eth domains first, and that's when I stepped in, I guess, and added the ability to resolve handshake names. So yeah, but it's a cool project. Maybe next year I can convince her to give a talk on HandyCon. And of course I'll be sharing on Twitter and Instagram updates from that. Yeah, but in regards to, I was gonna talk about the happening as well, but maybe we're a bit past that now. No? Yeah.
The rest of the time's kind of free time. Take it anywhere you want. We had, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was on the same boat as Eskimo, going for 2-letter domains. Obviously lost all of them, but there were a lot of really good 2-letter domains like .dr, .op, what else? I lost my name .neto, which was live, and I just found out after the end. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how people use the names themselves. Hopefully not just to stake and sell SLDs for a change, but actually build on top of them, which is what we need. And actually, suggestion for next year's HandyCon would be like a mini hackathon would be cool, like to get more builders involved. I think that would be nice. And responding to Santiago, yeah, I agree. I think there should be more community calls on places like Discord, and maybe have highlights, highlighted projects or people that want to share. Just get up on stage and share, or maybe it can be scheduled. I don't know. I think there's more builders on Handshake than we realize, and it would be cool to get them on the spotlight or highlight the projects at least. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're hoping. I hope that's something that comes out of this. For example, like I really met Eskimo at the last HandyCon. That's the first time we chatted, and we've talked a lot over the last year. I think that's fair to say. We did a couple videos and stuff like that. So the more we can get people just jiving and highlighting stuff, the better. And if the logo's cool, I'll make your rug and send it to you. That's always
Nice.
on the table.
Awesome.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions for anyone else while we're here? Anything? I know we have the action item. We kind of want to look at the standardizing who is with a hip down the line. I think the rest of it we have a really busy week in the world of Handshake. This is an eventful week.
This is the week.
We'll all be seeing each other. Yeah, we'll be seeing each other this week. No doubt. This won't be the last time. I think it goes without saying, but it didn't get said, which is I'm also obviously very excited to hear JJ speak. It's always super insightful, for sure, on the technical level, and I think he does a good job of explaining the why and within the context of the time when decisions were made and things like that. It helps piece it together for people like me that are pretty curious about origins. Cool. I think we're in a good place to wrap it up.
I guess we just want to mention that the plan is to host monthly Discord, dWeb chats. Hopefully with Andrew Lee joining us and you, Alex, as well, to continue the momentum.
Just make it a bit sooner, please.
It's hard because if we make it sooner, then the people from Australia cannot join, and then if we make it later, it's very hard. Like, I guess we need a poll for.
Where are you based, Alex?
I'm in Porto, Portugal.
What time is it there right now?
Oh, it should be like very late. 3 a.m.
37 a.m. almost 2 a.m.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
I think in Australia we're fine earlier because it is like 12:30 here.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go earlier. I'm not sure about anybody else.
We can
But
go.
this is a good
maybe
thing.
Yeah, maybe we can try like an hour or two earlier. I mean, Pacific time. Actually, Alex gets off work, right? Maybe.
Yeah. But I save all my time off for this type of stuff. So usually I can adjust it once a month.
Well, Santiago, maybe we can try like an hour earlier next time.
Sure. Sure. The time that we used was in sync with the time Mike uses for the Sky include Twitter/X space. But
I see.
I'm
Maybe
definitely.
that's for, like, Asia. And what time is it in Asia? Maybe time in.
I have no problem in making it earlier.
Yeah, 8:38 Chiang Mai time.
Okay, 8:38. I don't know. Maybe 7:30. Yeah, maybe if we started an hour earlier, it'd be too early for Asia. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we'll think about it, Alex. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, it's a pity the world's round, If all those If all those flat earthers were correct, it would make everything much easier.
But it's a good thing.
Definitely.
This means that the community is global, right? So I guess it's good.
Good problems.
Exactly.
Definitely. And if anyone has any other suggestions between now and then, or feel free to reach out to any of us, or but feel free to reach out to me. That's I can help coordinate.
We'll hammer it. Yeah, I guess in the next few days we'll hammer out a time and create another like events, I guess, on Discord, and I guess we can look out for that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
post HandyCon.
Thank you everyone for joining. The shares,
All right.
the tweets. We'll see you at HandyCon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye everyone.
Thank you for joining.